life is becoming more and more difficult for brand owners, so it's really important to watch what the most recent trends are. And you, as a consultancy, have identified 6 trends. Could you please explain to us what these trends are and provide some interesting examples?
Well, I think the major underlying trend is the internet, which has changed the world, not only of cosmetics, but in general, fundamentally. But it's also impacting the way consumers interact with cosmetic brands, how they choose cosmetic brands, how they buy cosmetic brands. So I think there are really big shifts. I think one of the most important things in there is social media. I think it's very difficult today to reach people without using social media. I mean, this is where trends are emerging, where trends are discussed, where people look into and where they look for what is happening and where they follow brands. And it's very heavily impacted by what used to be bloggers, but are now internet stars like Dougie B or other persons that are heavily impacting the way people use cosmetics and on what kind of cosmetics they buy, which brands they are looking forward to. And so as a cosmetic brand, you need to get into what digital can deliver and how it can help you to satisfy the needs of people.
And as far as natural cosmetics is concerned, that is a very important trend too. Have you got any interesting examples in that field?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the issue of natural is becoming mainstream now. It's moving from premium into like everybody can use it, and more people use it. Like H&M has launched the Conscious series, and natural ingredients you find in more and more mainstream brands like in Garnier or Alverde and the DM own label product. So yeah, natural is a major trend. It's kind of the opposite to the perfectionism you find in the digital world.
Have you got any interesting examples of social media campaigns used by brands?
Yeah, there are brands that have been launched exclusively with social media. In relation to Genin, for example, has launched a new line by Colourpop, and it was so successful that the whole server broke down and it was impossible to reach the site because so many people, actually there was a kind of waiting list on who could enter the site.
But there's also a trend from the digital media to standalone stores. Have you got any interesting examples in that field?
Yeah, I think what is happening is that more and more brands transfer the rules of digital into offline, so they build stores and pop-up stores to make the brand tangible, so people can go there and experience it. NYX, for example, has opened their flagship store in New York, which works like this. Sephora in Milano, the flagship store, allows people to interact with the brand, use digital techniques like augmented reality, virtual reality, to try different products and see how it works for them, and with tutorials and interactive stuff. So yeah, this is becoming very interesting also for consumers to experience the brand in a different way.
Talking about pop-up stores, you mentioned Benefit. Could you please explain what they did?
Yeah, Benefit is a nice example. They opened a pop-up store in London on a boat, which will be there for 5 months. And it's like the brand comes alive. You know, they have a special bar in there, the Pinkton bar, which is all in pink, which is the color of Benefit. They have decks there where there are parties and sports events. And the whole boat is prepared so you can have a multi-sensible experience of the Benefit brand.
And what would you recommend to brand owners, how to keep track of all these developments and make the most of it?
Well, I think most important today is social listening. So, and you should do that, well, basically on a daily basis, to keep track of how people think about the category, how they think about brands. Many trends are emerging these days in social media, so you got to keep an ear on the consumer to understand what is going on. And I think the most important thing always has been, but even more now in the digital age, is to understand the needs of people and then think about how you can satisfy these needs in a smart way by what you do with your brand in digital and offline.